So now we back it up to Wednesday. Wednesday was eyes wide shut. I mean, I don't remember exactly what we did in the day, but I remember in the afternoon we ended up downtown doing some last minute shopping. Now the plan was to get a power nap before in the night, in the evening, in the night, and then wake up and go to eyes wide shut. That didn't happen. From what I can remember, is like we was home in the night, nobody really sleeping, we just getting close together and stuff. Let me see. I ended up maybe laying down in the bed, eyes wide open. About the hour before we said we would leave. So then we went over to met up with Darissa and Chanel. So we all rolled into one car, and then we headed to, I think it was Sandy Ground. It was in headed to Sandy Ground. We got there definitely close to midnight. Now, prior to getting to Eyes Wide Shut, I can't remember that I saw a poster, or if I looked at the poster. I didn't scrutinize the poster. I didn't look at the poster thoroughly. I mean, it's a Fete. I wasn't worried about not having a good time. I was bound to have a good time. Because my philosophy, once there's music, rum, and good vibes, you must walk up. So I mean, I wasn't worried. I was gonna have fun one way or the other. So we got there pretty much close to midnight. I mean, we went island time, so nobody was early, which was good in my opinion, because we got through security pretty early. Well, not pretty early, but pretty quick. We got through security pretty quick. And then we got to security. No, I'm not a front and center person, but we got to security and everybody went straight to the front. I'm like, okay, we went to the front. And not to mention, I was hungry. Well, not super hungry, but yeah, could have eat either way, whatever. And over the years, I've learned not to drink on an empty stomach. So I'm like, I need something to eat before I start drinking. So we had VIP, which allowed us unlimited drinks and unlimited food. So I went to the bar area to check out what they had. At the time I went, they just had fruit parfaits, which I mean, I wasn't too ecstatic about that. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make it work. So I had about, maybe 2 of those. So throw them back, let it go through the system a little bit. Then I went back to the bar. And I was like, after they like, you guys have anything to drink sweet? No, for me, I like anything sweet. Any cocktail, any drinks, whatever, sweet. I like it to be sweet. So she was like, oh, we have a rum punch, but all the rum is at the bottom. I was like, okay. So then she pointed to the dispenser, which was a tall dispenser with the spout at the bottom. So I'm thinking, all the rum at the bottom, all the rum at the bottom, all the rum at the bottom. That sounds like bliss. Like, I don't see the problem with that. So then she was like, do you want to try it? I'm like, sure, I'll try it. So then I went over, take a sip. It wasn't strong, but you could taste the rum, cause rum punch. I guess the punch was super sweet, and you couldn't really taste the rum. It wasn't strong or anything. So I'm like, miss, this is perfectly fine. You don't have to touch it. I appreciate this. So then, topped off the cup, drank like three quarters of that cup, then top off that again, and then I went back to the grounds. Now I'm on the grounds. I drank the second cup of rum punch, and let me see. So, but between we getting in and my 2 glasses of rum punch, there were local bands playing. There were two local bands playing. Now, from the time I had my second rum punch to the time the sun rose, I honestly do not remember anything between there. Like, I remember when the sun rose, that's when I caught myself, and then I thought, the sun is up pretty early, like, the sun come up quick, yo, like, what's up with that? So, between then and there, I remember going to the bathroom a lot, like, I was pissing, and then apparently I went missing, I don't know, can't substantiate, I don't know. But definitely, when the sun came up, I was like, the sun come up quick, yo, like, what's up with that? But anyways, so that was when I became aware of myself, and then it was like, all of a sudden you hear the loud music, the music is like loud, and look around, there's a huge crowd, like, where did this call come from, and whatever. There was a splash zone to the left of VIP, then VIP, and then main section. I was like, okay, there's a lot of people there. Like, but anyway, that's a quick thought. Throw that off. I went back into the event. Let me see. There was breakfast. I remember standing in line for breakfast. There was Marshall Montana's performance. That was okay. Farmer Nappy performed. Could have do without that performance. There was DJs mixing it up. The dance competition. I remember a section where the DJ blasted some Think tunes. So like, we went wild for that section. Repping Think and stuff. So now fast forward to we're coming close to the end. Again, I don't know who was supposed to be performing, who is performing, I don't know. Barely know anybody. We are, I guess, winding down. The sun is in the sky, hot. And I wasn't angry, but I was just like tired and over it. Like, if you had asked me, do you want to go home? I'd have probably jumped and say yes. So then I was in the viewing area and bumped into Yanni. He was like, oh, I'm going to the bar to get water. I'm like, okay, that's weird, but okay. If you know my friend Yanni, alcohol is around, there is no way he's drinking water. So I'm like, whatever, dude. So then he came back with a handful of bottle of water, ended up giving me 2. I cracked one, drank that. That was probably the only time I drank water at the Fete. And then he was like, Asa Bantan is going to perform. I'm like, okay. Now at this time, I can't say that I ever paid attention to Asa Bantan. Like, the only song I would have heard from Asa Bantan up until that point would have been Wet Fete. And I never really paid attention to Wet Fete. I definitely remember hearing it one time at Juve, and that was about it. Never listened to it outside of that. So I was like, okay. And then the Bouyon genre, again, at that point, the only song I would have heard or knew from Bouyon would be Balance Batty by WCK. I heard that song when I was small, like, and coming up. That song was hot, is hot, and still will probably continue to be hot. So that was the only, up until that point, that was the only Bouyon song I heard. So I'm like, okay. So then we did stand up, and then he was like, let's go to the front. So now we are at the front by the stanchions. I'm like, okay, we're here. So then, I mean, there was the stage, the barriers with a little empty section in the middle. I mean, we're gonna call that front and center for now. I don't know the official name. So then I'm there thinking, okay, this is as far as we're gonna go. The DJ was warming up the crowd, you know. Looking back, you could hear the transition from regular soca into Bouyon. The transition was pretty nice. So then, here comes Yanni, hopping over the fence. I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess this is where we part ways. So, so he was like, yo, let's go. And I'm like, really? No, at this point, I'm low on energy. I do not really want to be there, but, you know, whatever. If you ask me to go home, I'd go home. But then I remember thinking, you have never been front and center before, so let's do it for the experience. So then I hopped over the barrier and just there, chipping along, slow chipping, low energy, didn't know what to expect. Then the band came in with a rhythm I had never heard before. Oh my goodness. I was like, what song is that? Who sang that? Who is that? What rhythm is that? Where can I get it? I need it. I'm like, yo. Come to find out, the song is called Take It Anywhere. I mean, like, yo. Okay, so what I'm about to say is not necessarily in order, not necessarily out of order, but it's kind of like what I can remember. So then Ace Bantan bust the stage, there was small confetti, and then out comes Ace Bantan. He just set it off one time. The crowd was like, insane, you know. I mean, I don't remember where I got the energy from, I don't remember much, but then I look, the thing caught himself, phone out, wailing on a batty. I don't know who she was, where she came from, how I ended up behind there. I mean, all I was, Then, let's see, the songs I remember he sang were Down and If I Die Young. And then also remember looking at a lady in admiration. Like, I never hear any of those songs before, and like the way she was going in on the lyrics to If I Die Young, she was like, there was a line that says murder them that murder me, and she was like, and I'm like, wow. So then, I mean, I presume when Fete got played, I don't remember that being played, but then like the bottles I had in my possession, I no longer had them, and I was a little wet, a little damp, not soaking wet, but wet. So then, for most of his performance, I was to the right side of the stage. So there was a time I like, when I was doing new experiences, I like to like soak it in, like look at my surroundings and take in the environment. So then I'm to the right of the stage, and then I happened to turn to the left where the stage was on my right and the crowd was on my left. So then I did a panoramic view, or I started a panoramic view, and then went from the stage to this way, facing that way, then continued, then got to the crowd, breathing through, saw the VIP friends leaning, was like, okay, then now I'm at the back. Now all I see when I turned to the back was this, like, I was like, me shit, well, like, wow. And then like, whatever state I was in, like, whatever bliss state I was in, it's like, instantly I came back. I was like fully aware, like I was aware like a wasp going to sting. I was like, oh my goodness. And then for a little split second, I freaked out. I was like, shit, I am in Anguilla for the first time by myself, to the front of this crowd, by myself, in Sandy Ground, by myself, like, like, cause at this point, Yanni disappeared to the left of me. We left the rest of them behind the stanchion, behind the barriers, and I'm like, I am here, to the front of this crowd, by myself, in the middle of Anguilla, for the first time, by myself. I was like, oh my god. I mean, if anything was to pop off, I'm like, again, I'm by myself. So I was like, that was for a quick second, snapped out of that, then focus back on the stage. And then as I put my focus back on the stage, I realized they were like some huge speakers like directly on the ground in front of the stage. So then there was big speaker, space, speaker, space, go down to the end of the stage. Now, that first space, when I realized it was like the space said, "Yo, come over here," and I kid you not, I literally floated over to that space, like between two speakers. So then I got there, and that's pretty much where I spent the rest of the performance. Like, so then, so I got over there, then turned my back to the stage and faced the crowd, and I was like, my goodness, it was like, I don't want to say it was crazy, but it was just like everybody enjoying themselves. Like, we here, it's a Bantan performance and we just having fun. I mean, I've never seen that level of fun before. It was like, yo. So like, what I can say is like, I like his command of the crowd. Like, there was a song he performed, or before he performed, they was handing out napkins. I was like, napkins, okay. Then he was like, shake the napkins, shake, and then the crowd just put him up to the point where they almost released, but they didn't release it. And then they just chant that for a while until I guess they distributed as much napkins as possible. Then when he dropped the tune, everybody was like, "We're making a mess." Yes, see, all napkins in the air, and I'm like, wow, wow, wow. All I could have said was wow. I mean, it was just like nothing short of amazing. Like, oh my goodness, this is happening right now. Like, yo. So I don't remember all his songs he played, but like the energy he brought, he was like amazing. I mean, the crowd response, I mean, was amazing. Like, when I caught myself, it's like there was no barriers remaining. The VIP fence broke down. I mean, everybody was going crazy. Everyone literally went crazy. So by the time he wrapped up his performance, the crowd was chanting, "Esa, Esa, Esa, Esa." I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. And by right, he was the last to perform. I mean, if there was anyone else left to perform, I don't think the crowd would have come back. Nah, I don't think so. So he left the stage. The crowd was chanting for more of him, and then that was pretty much it. So after his performance, everybody just started piling out, and then we're walking back to the car, and it's like, you just see the after effects, like grass grew out, people on the ground, the VIP fence broke all the way down, the barriers, no barriers there. So like, when we got going to the front and center, we had to jump over the barrier. Leaving the front and center stage, we just walked straight, like no barriers there, nothing, like, yo. So then by the time we got back to the car, Huyen in the back seat passed out, trying to hold herself up, like, yo. I know this was into Thursday morning, so after the Fete, eyes wide shut, it was like nobody wanted to do anything. Thursday was pretty much recovery, and recovery. It's like, yo. So I mean, that was my first time seeing Asa Bantan perform. It was definitely, I want to see him perform again. His performance was like amazing, nothing but amazing. Like, yo. Personally, I don't know, maybe seeing him perform first versus hearing him on the tracks. I prefer him live versus on the tracks. That's just my personal opinion. The tracks don't do him justice, but definitely I'm looking out for the next performance. And after that trip, I did research, found some more of his songs and other Bouyon artists, and definitely I'm a fan of Bouyon. The Bouyon music is sweet. So with all this corona lockdown restrictions and what's not, I'm just patiently waiting for for the next time he performs, cause I am going to be there. I have to be there. I will be there. Maybe front and center again. I don't know, but definitely I'm gonna be there. So yeah, that was my first time seeing Asa Bantan perform, and I would definitely recommend seeing him perform to anybody. Like, yo, that was I look at the videos and think back, and it's just like, I mean, it was amazing. It was a good time, really good time. So thank you guys for checking out my first vlog video. I appreciate the time you took to get to this point. Thank you for your feedback. Check out my other videos on the channel. Do like and subscribe, and see you on the next video.